the heart with your eyes. Your eyes, the heart with your eyes. Your eyes, the heart with your eyes. Your eyes, the heart with your eyes.
To my friend Charlie Kirk. Rest now, brother. We have the watch. And I'll see you in Valhalla.
Guys, the plot is thickening. Listen to this. This plane, aircraft NA-8KG, took off from Provo Airport exactly 1 hour after Charlie Kirk's assassination. Provo Airport is about 14 minute drive from where he got assassinated. I was tracking it, and half an hour into the flight, they turned their radars off, which is completely illegal and only the government can do this. There's a 45-minute window where nobody knows where this plane went. Guys, they were 100% hiding something. There's no chance that all of this stuff comes out and it's all just coincidence.
Central, hey, you know what? Any central casting. Look at that guy, central casting.
Central casting.
Very impressive. Oh, you're central casting. Look at this guy.
This man's central casting. I watch him all the time. Central casting.
He's a real talent, a real guy, and he is central casting. Do we agree? Central casting. These guys are central casting. There's nobody in Hollywood that looks like these people. And they're central casting. I've never seen a group of people like this. Everyone's in perfect shape. My friend, central casting. I always call him central casting.
All right, hello, my dear friends. Hope you guys are doing fine today. Quick mic check, please. Hello, Steve Hewitt. A lot of good people in the house today. Daniel Triplet is in the house. Matthew Crystal, Beans, Big Pipe, Big GSL Lapper, Tyler Woods in the house. Super Kid, Marcelo S. Hello from Rio de Janeiro. Hello. So welcome to the show, guys. Seems like, hello, how are you? Flat Earth Deplorable, a great brother. So it seems like some of us, or some of you, I don't know, still don't realize that we live on almost like a simulation. Simulation, what I mean is like things are not real, you know, it's a make-believe reality. Before, I just want to start with the Bible verse, Hebrews 1:1-2. God, who at sundry times and in divers manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets, hath in these last days spoken unto us by his Son, whom he hath appointed heir of all things. So there's no communication between man and God except through Jesus Christ. So it's sometimes, you know, even some of our brothers and sisters who are flat earthers tend to forget that those crisis actors have been around for a long time, perhaps 80 years. You know, we have been seeing psyops. So this Charlie Kirk stuff, I've seen some people divided about it, even some flat earthers. But we shall never forget what these people have been doing. Just look at the beginning when in my intro song, all those NASA actors with microphone wires going through their hands, all acting, studio. These guys use Hollywood techniques. You know, they are ahead of the time. And seeing this, for example, no flat earther, at least no flat earthers should believe that what's going on, you know, with this so-called shooting is real. There are a lot of coincidences, you know. One of the craziest coincidence is this guy who is some people say that he is entirely AI. I don't know. But one of you know, it's striking coincidence here. The guy poses in front of this island here, New Zealand. And that's where Valhalla is, Valhalla Danish house. Okay? And then you have Kash Patel saying, "See you in Valhalla." It's because the airplane probably took off. This is my opinion. I'm not saying this is what happened. This is my opinion. My opinion is like soon after the enactment, the action, they put him on this ambulance and took him to the airport and flew him out of the country. And I have some more stuff to back up, so that's what we're going to be showing today. So I hope you guys, my sounds good. And I think so. Nobody's complaining anything. Sounding good. Thanks, Tyler. So I got some more videos that I want to share with you about concerning this event, which in my opinion is a false flag. This I just got this morning.
Did Donald Trump just give the Charlie Kirk PSYOP game away? So there's a big memorial happening now in Arizona for Charlie Kirk. And as you can see by this drone footage, thousands of people are attending, including the Don himself. This is what he had to say about it.
The life of a great man today. Really a great man. He's a young man. He's a young man. He's a young man, but a great man, and we look forward to it. It really is. We want to look at it as a time of healing, a time of whatever, time of whatever, time of whatever. That something like this could have happened is not even believable. Not even believable. Not even believable. Not even believable. Really a great man. He's a young man, but a great man, and we look forward to it. It really is. We want to look at it as a time of healing, a time of whatever. That something like this could have happened is not even believable.
Yeah, he is a great man, and I've seen a couple of videos where even his wife uses the present tense instead of referring to him as in the past. So it's important that we flat earthers, and I think purposely they are doing this on purpose to divide as many people as possible. The opinions, giving different versions. But everything, in my opinion, had been well planned. Well planned. I think about a year ago, just like TFE, they planned like 2 years ahead. And this Charlie Kirk stuff, I think, was planned over a year when he started talking about the nation of that country in the Middle East. When he started criticizing, that's when the acting started. Now, in my opinion, he had been acting for a long time, but that's really when the acting started. So they started. This stuff is planned well in advance time. A year, 2 years ahead. So I think they have like a timetable when they're going to release those things. And we will be talking about another PSYOP that's coming. Another TFE version 2. So I'm gonna share this with you. So shout out to Flatter Deplorable. He just put out a video. I haven't had the chance of watching yet. The next hit piece against Flatter is already in the works. Seems like another actor here, Dr. Shiva, is in the making of another mockumentary. Since TFE was a complete failure, and Duffy himself said that there will be more. So they are gonna be doing some more stuff, And I don't know, how long I'm gonna be covering the stuff because kind of gets tiring, like the guys are paid to do that, and we give our time. We are not paid. We just I do a lot of I work regular, So hello, Francis. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much. Yeah, the way that she's been talking, she said the kids rushed. She said the kids, our kids. She does. She just mentioned again in the present tense as if he was with her, saying the kids rushed and we hugged our children. Then she fixed that. She said, "Oh, my children," and that stuff is laughable. That the way she's campaigning already. Well, because the guy is alive, in my opinion. Again, I gotta stress that. My opinion, he is in Valhalla, New Zealand. He's gonna spend some time there. And what happens is, just like we have seen, some of those people come back. They come back just like the NASA guys. They come back as professors, as lawyers, as businessmen. There's a professor here. This guy had a website, you know, professor, professor. I don't know what he does. So they come back. So we might see him back again in a few years as with another name, another identity. Perhaps some physical changes, we don't know, because these people didn't change at all. I mean, they got a bit older, of course, but you can see they are the same people. So we might see him in 5, 10 years again with a complete new uh, identity, having an apartment or something. So I don't know what you guys get of this. In the beginning, some people did believe. I think the first day, they do this, they show on TV, just like the Challenger. Those things are well planned, like the Challenger stuff. They had kids watching in classrooms. They were showing everywhere, TV sets at that time, everywhere, so people can see and then get traumatized, you know. So those things, like the his uh, presentation at that university, it was like uh, I think they not sure if they sold tickets or it was for free. I think it was for free. And yeah, we live in the age of deception. Everything is deception. And the idea was to traumatize the nation and divide, especially Christians. They are always targeting Christians all the time. Always targeting Christian. I don't know. You can time out. I don't know who's defending David Wise. As a matter of fact, I will encourage you guys to watch a video that Sam Abukaya put out on David Wise. I'm gonna share here the video if you want to watch it. It's little bit long. It's like an hour long. It's called The Wise Files. No, this one. The Wise File, Deep Inside. The Wise File, Deep Inside Dave's Rabbit Hole. This is a really well put together piece on David Wise. Really, really great. Okay. Not to my surprise, I shouldn't be surprised about it. But he had guys coming on his defense, David Wise had people coming on his defense. One of them being no other than Maktoum. Okay. Maktoum came to defend his central casting body, David Wise. And another one who is coming to his defense is Jaron. He wants to go to Sam's channel and challenge him on this documentary. He was there to defend his body. David Wise, central casting. These guys are all central casting. So on one hand, for people like, Flat Earth Deplorable, myself, Vika has been running this show about TFE. Zetetic, Tom from Zetetic channel. For all of us, through Christian and so many people, who have been put out, like Roddy Cooper, shout out to Roddy Cooper, uh, The Truth, so many good people that put out stuff on the on TFE. It's kind of hard that we are dealing with professional actors. It's very hard because these guys are paid to do what they're doing, and they are paid, just like Jim Brewer put it, to stir, to divide, to create confusion. That's what they do, and they thrived with that. They probably get extra pay, whenever things really get stirred up. And sometimes I don't know if it's worth for us to be spending so much time, because that's what they want us to do, you know. I don't know. Of course, we need to let people know what they are up to, and whenever we know what they are up to now, like Flatter Deplorable, he's ahead of the game. He's looking that they are putting out another mockumentary with Dr. Shiva. And true flat earthers should not get involved with these guys. That's my opinion from the beginning, since 2000, early 2024, when I said that no flat earthers should be involved with Duffy. And this is that's been my opinion. So let's watch another clip here on this Charlie Kirk's. This is a guy who is a Hollywood director. And let's see if it's this one. Yeah, Grammy winner. All right, so look at this guy. Okay, I'm gonna read along and free screen. Let's go back here. So this guy here, he seems to be a Hollywood director. Okay, and the thing is, they show the techniques, how they do the fake neck stuff. This guy, okay, he was identified, probably the guy who was there with the, I forgot the name, but it looks pretty similar. Looks like their faces match. And he won 6 Emmy Awards for makeup and artists and special effects. I look at the fake neck behind. Everything is fake. So it's created there and looks pretty realistic. Okay, you see that seems like he had something in his back right there. You can see. And this camera, they took down really quick, and you see there, like, the reflection. So that's probably someone who was watching from behind from that camera. And fire, I forgot the name, you know. So they rushed him to this van, probably took from the house. And they immediately, there was all the blood right there. That's it, no more blood. People said, well, his t-shirt and everything. And they rushed and they took this down. They took this down. So they focused. They might have somebody. They really they took down everything. Quickly, and they took down all the stuff, and then they have their patsies there. But most likely, this is another Hollywood stunt and created. So a lot of Hollywood. Uh, effects. We can see that. Now, that's again my opinion. And yes, if you're surprised, when the back camera was taken down, the guy grabbed chair. I can't read. It is a chair which should have been covering blood. Yeah, the whole thing. Can you imagine you being bleeding out? When this uh, vein is cut, and it should be blood everywhere. The people helping him, and that was just that scene only. That was it. So it's pretty clear this was a Hollywood stunt. you know. So I hope at the least some of you who are watching today realize that we just saw what we saw wasn't just central casting, just like we have seen uh, uh, with that TFE and Challenger explosion, all that stuff. So and in my opinion, again, my opinion only, the whole talking that he was talking about, that country in the Middle East for the last year was part of the game. Everything is part of the game. So I have one more that I want to play. It's this one right here.
I mean, come on. Let's take a deep dive into all the conspiracy theories surrounding it. Here's a handful of books that were posted on Amazon on September 9th, but Charlie Kirk was shot on September 10th. Then Amazon supposedly changed the date to September 11th, the day after. But the publication date still said September 9th. But if you go to search for the book now, you come up with this. Now you could explain this with just an editing error, or this plane, identified as N88KG, took off from Provo Airport exactly 1 hour after he was shot. And that airport is only a 13-minute drive from the campus location. This plane apparently turned its radar off only a half hour into the flight. And as you can see, there is only one flight recorded for this aircraft. So there's a 45-minute window in which this flight is completely unaccounted for. And when you try and access more information on it, you get this. So I went on the flight radar myself, and this is what I found. Now wait for the time to hit the 7:48 mark. What was that, chump? There's an apparent 35-minute gap in the flight time. So what was the next destination after this? There's more to get into, so stay tuned.
The Charlie Kirk assassination is starting to look like a bad Hollywood movie. Why do I think Charlie Kirk's assassination is looking like a Hollywood movie? This guy. I'm not going to show the video because this will get censored. But this image, look into it. This guy right here, I think he hits a squid. The moment before Charlie Kirk is assassinated, he touches his nose. People around him do the different hand signals. I just think they're signaling this stunt to happen. Squid is a miniature explosive device that's used for special effects in movies. So yeah, there's tons of theories going out there. There's tons of 33 symbolism surrounding the situation, surrounding his wife, surrounding where this happened. I've decoded all of this in other reels. Look into them if you want to know. This is my conclusion after diving deep into everything. It's definitely a killing of the king ritual, King Kill 33, a Masonic ritual. But the purpose of this ritual isn't the sacrifice, but the revelation of the method, to make manifest what is hidden, because the world is going through a manufactured great awakening. That's the ritual.
That's what I was trying to say. They use those squibs. I don't know what I'd say, and it's pretty clear. Central casting playing part. So we are surrounded by actors, playing, directing us into a fake, like the globe being, pushing humanity to believe in the globe, and always creating this confusion. And that goes to what I have said, in the past few days, few weeks, about the dispensationalism and stuff, how this stuff has been pushed, in our churches, and a lot of things we need to question. And because I always, as a flat earther, biblical flat earther, I have told people that the word of God is true, and that Genesis is true and says about the firmament and everything. It's just not, weird for me now to interpret the words of Jesus not literally concerning his return in 70 AD. So we will be talking a bit about that as well. Check the comments real quick. Yeah, so we will be talking about a bit, we're going to take a short break. We're going to play a song now. I really enjoyed this song by Zetetsk, So I selected his song here for us to listen now. And let's go ahead and listen to the Tactic. Let me find him here. I just saved right here.
Yeah. They told me that the earth curves, but line never lies. No matter how high I climb, that horizon's still my guide. From sea to mountaintop, it's always eye level flat. X-axis, Y-axis, no curve, just effect.
Like a mirror on the water, that reflection stays true. If the ocean had a curve, you'd see a funhouse view. Sunbeams running pathways straight to where you stand. Flat reflections tell the story, not a ball of shifting land.
From the Pyrenees to the Alps, a record line of sight. Mallorca from Barcelona, the distance of plain light. Chicago skyline stands tall where the curve should hide the land. 8 inches per mile square, but here we see too far to understand.
The skies with the pilot's gyroscopes locked in place. If we lived on a spinning globe, they're just to keep their trace. But those flight paths stay steady, routes make sense on a flat plane. From point A to B direct, no curve to entertain.
Bridges span the rivers, tunnels cut through the stone. All built on flat earth principles, the curve is never known. Spirit levels, plumb bobs, tools of ancient engineers. No one ever accounts for curvature, it's been flat for all these years.
Sometimes it's lonely, searching truth in a crowd. Questions spinning in my mind, I'm not backing down. Looking past the stories, seeing with my own eyes. Awakening to wonder, letting go of fables die. It's common sense, just look and see. The truth is clear and wide. No one's upside down in Australia. No trees growing from the sky. Just trust your eyes and logic, let the simple facts unfold. The earth is flat and level, that's the story we've been told.
They show us moon landings filmed on a studio floor. ISS with glitches, wires in the door, green screens in the background, bubbles in the space. NASA's Hollywood show just to lie to our face.
They use fisheye lenses to bend that horizon round, but Hubble never turned to show us Earth from its bound. No camera on the moon, the stream is 24/7, like just cartoons and composites. The globe is just contrived.
Periscope and plumb bob, they all align straight and true. Spirit levels tell the story, gyroscopes join the crew. P1000 lens zooms and shows the world with no bend, and geodetic tools measure tunnels that run straight to the end.
Compass and sundial, they relied on a level ground. Astrolabe and sextant measure angles all around. Laser lines stay straight, radar and sonar know the score. The art of light and compass point out there's no curve explored.
Water always finds its level, that's the nature of its flow. From a cup to a mighty ocean, it stays flat wherever you go. Rivers run from the mountains seeking that even line, proving Earth's no spinning ball, just a flat plane by design.
With every question answered, a new road appears, breaking through the doubt, letting go of old fears. Eyes wide open now on a journey so true, seeking out the freedom that comes to what's new. It's just your common sense, the world is plain to see. No rain falling upward, no oceans curving free. Let the simple truths remind you, let the evidence be told. The earth is flat and steady, and the story's getting old.
All right, shout out to Zetetic Truth Tube. Excellent song. I've been enjoying his music. And shout out to No Dunk Records. We haven't talked to for a while. It's our stage, and this on the 10th September. Yeah, that movie was on Hulu. This one here, isn't that crazy? They uh, this movie here is about politics, about politicians being shot in the neck. You know, same day, released on September 10th. You know, that's is kind of another coincidence. You know, and that's about politicians who get you know shot right in the neck. So September 10th, the same day. Lots of coincidences here. Valhalla in New Zealand, no blood. You know, everything points to an act, right? To a theatrical act. And I hope many flat earthers realize, if I wish all of them realize that we are constantly being deceived. Uh, that's that's their that's how they make a living. It's by deceiving people. I think it was a CIA guy who said that 95% of what Americans see on TV are lies. And of course, they show the tail live vision, tail live vision right there. We don't watch much of this, sometimes only. We pick shows on that we like to watch on like YouTube. All right, so I want to share a bit about this little season stuff. Some people got, like, first about his wife here. She's also uh, central casting. Erica Kirk. She's also central casting. She is actually a casting director. She's a casting director right there. So we're leading with actors, professional actors, just like these guys here, our actors, actors. So we need to find a way to detach from these guys, completely ignore them. And Rusted Soul says she doesn't want to be talking about them all the time because she doesn't want to herself get a cancer, from talking about these guys. I want to read this real quick for you. This is Ezekiel 8 from 9 to 16. That was a vision Ezekiel had before the first temple was destroyed. And he said unto me, Go in and behold the wicked abominations that they do here. So I went and I saw, and behold, every form of creeping things, and abominable beasts, and all the idols of the house of Israel portrayed upon the wall round about. There stood before them 70 men of the ancients of the house of Israel, and in the midst of them stood Jaazaniah the son of Shaphan, with every man his censer in his hand. The thick cloud of incense went up. Then said he unto me, Son of man, hast thou seen what the ancients of the house of Israel do in the dark, every man in the chambers of his imagery? For they say, The Lord sees us not, the Lord hath forsaken the earth. He said also unto me, Turn thee again, and thou shalt see great abominations that they do. Then he brought me to the door of the gate of the Lord's house, which was towards the north, and behold, there sat women weeping for Tammuz. Then said he unto me, Hast thou seen this, O son of a man? Turn thee again, and thou shalt see greater abominations than these. He brought me into the inner courts of the Lord's house, and behold, at the door of the temple of the Lord, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men, with their backs towards the temple of the Lord, and their faces towards the east. They worship the sun toward the east. So you see the heliocentrism right there, you know? And in Brazil, they had a show, another show, like a soap opera. And I cannot play this continuously because of copyright. So this is exactly what we read, okay? This guy is playing the part of Ezekiel. That's Ezekiel from 1 to 17. He was talking, you know, when he saw the Lord, okay? And the people don't see. And he says, you know, can you see there? And nobody sees anything, you know? So he approaches. I got to do like this because of copyright reasons. That's the Lord. So the Lord's going to take him inside the temple. Not inside, first to the outside. You know, he was taken to the temple. Then he starts seeing what the passage says, you know, like what the people were doing inside the temple, all the imagery, the idolatry, you know, and he was like, the Lord was showing him. This is a really nice scene. It's in Portuguese though, but it's really nice. And then the Lord tells him to, you know, like make a hole in the wall. Here's the Lord telling him to dig a hole, and he does. And when he does, he sees more things that they are doing, you know, like the incense, burning the incense to the other gods, you know, and he is walking among them. They don't see him, of course. And all the idolatry they were practicing. And the most interesting part, you see there the women and the men here. Okay, this is really interesting, right? When you see the 25 men with their faces towards the sun, worshiping the sun, and with their back to the temple, worshiping the sun. That's heliocentrism, you know? That's the heliocentric model right there. So this is a really great scene. I wish I could upload to my channel, but there's heavy copyright stuff on this. And that's why I don't think the Lord had the temple destroyed at that time because of the people were doing this stuff. That's why I think there will never be another temple built, because just look at the nation of Israel today. There's heliocentrism is their central uh, in their education system. You know, they teach heliocentrism, and it's even worse today than it was when we saw in this vision. So no way the Lord will be mocked, you know, to a construction of another temple there. So there's no way. So that's why, you know, that you guys who have been, hello, Victor, how are you? Thank you for the like. Have been into this uh, dispensationalism stuff. No, you should definitely discard that dispensationalism, and God will not be mocked into the construction of another temple. And I asked ChatGPT to, because when you see, they are always spraying the wall, but that's not the wall of the temple. That's actually from Fort Antonia. That's what they remain from Fort Antonia. So I asked ChatGPT to give me a true description on how Fort Antonia looked like and was next to the temple. And I'm gonna play this in just a second. So this was the temple, but remember the words of Jesus: there shall be no stone upon another; everything will be destroyed. So what they pray, it's on this thing right here, okay? Not really the temple, because the temple was completely destroyed. I'm gonna play the short video here. This is by brother Nathaniel.
Now, the Jews would have us believe that there's something sacred about the Western Wall, that it's a remnant of the Second Temple, where paper prayers of the Goyim are snatched by the divine presence, who supposedly dwells within its crevices and stones. Dead wrong. The Wailing Wall is actually the remains of a Roman fortress named Fort Antonia, built north of the actual temple site, where no protruding rock ever existed, but rather was built upon the Gihon Spring. The rock upon which the dome of the rock was built, adjoining the western wall, was actually the centerpiece around which Fort Antonia was built. There's nothing sacred about this rock or this wall. This is attested to by the eyewitness Jewish historian Josephus, who also wrote in his Jewish Wars that the Romans left nothing above or below ground of the Second Temple, so that one coming to Jerusalem thereafter would never believe a temple ever existed. According to Josephus, Titus, the Roman general who razed Jerusalem to the ground in 70 A.D., allowed Fort Antonia to remain to house the 10th Legion, left to monitor Roman affairs in Jerusalem. And thus the prophecy of Christ, "Not one stone will be left upon another," was fulfilled. God will not be mocked.
Exactly, guys. God will not be mocked. So that wall they keep praying is not really the temple, because Jesus says, no, we must believe what our Lord said. No rock will be left upon another. Everything will be destroyed. So we must, as Christians, believe what our Lord Jesus Christ said. And stop believing they will be building another temple there, because you saw Ezekiel 8, for much less what they do today, they had the first temple destroyed. So there will not be another one. And remember, that's the very first Bible verse I started with. There's no communication between God and them except through Jesus Christ. Hebrews 1:1-2, God, at sundry times and in divers manners, spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets, hath in these last days spoken to us by his Son, whom he hath appointed heir of all things. So there's no communication. Nobody is telling them to build anything. They are doing this on their own. No, it's not something that comes from the Lord. Again, I came across, and I want to, came across another chart based on dispensationalism, where they applied Daniel 9:27 and the church age that's not biblical. Okay, if you look, God gave them 70 weeks. 288 weeks already had got past, and counting. It can be 3,000 years, 4,000 years. So you guys need to get past this dispensationalism stuff. And I'm sorry I'm being slow in replying mails. I got 42. Actually, I replied to some, and I got another more bunch. So I have about 50 mails now to reply. So I will be up to date. I will get up to date. Just like as I said many times before, I am not a full-time flat earther. I have my own work, and I have to take care of business. Okay, let's take a listen to another song by DJ New Moon, and we should be right back.
Feel the ground shake when I step to the side. Flat as a board, no curve, it's a ride. Every truth they told, just a part of the game. Open your mind, we can break the frame. Look at the horizon, this straight line. Secrets unfold, now it's our time. Everybody wake up, can you feel that thrill? Flat like a sheet, can you keep it real? Everybody wake up as the truth unfolds. The world is flat, this story is bold. Dig a little deep. On this side of death, I'm a we're afraid our trick crown is a myth. Let the truth hit it. Cause that earth, though in mind you can keep. Bending around, it's a straight terrain. Together we'll shall break the chain of the plane. Everybody wake up, can you feel that thrill? Flat like a sheet, can you keep it real? Everybody wake up as the truth unfolds. The world is flat, this story is bold. These eyes, they spin, can't hold me down on this flat earth. I know wear my crown. Together we'll rise, let the world unite. In this truth we find, we man and I. Everybody wake up, can you feel that thrill? Flat like a sheet, can you keep it real? Everybody wake up as the truth unfolds. The world is flat, this story is bold. Bending around, it's a straight terrain. Together we'll shall break the chain of the plane. Everybody wake up, can you feel that thrill? Flat like a sheet, can you keep it real? Everybody wake up as the truth unfolds. The world is flat, this story is bold. These eyes, they spin, can't hold me down on this flat earth. I know wear my crown. Together we'll rise, let the world unite. In this truth we find, we man and I. Everybody wake up, can you feel that thrill? Flat like a sheet, can you keep it real? Everybody wake up as the truth unfolds. The world is flat, this story is bold.
All right, great song by DJ New Moon. Shout out to you, brother. And Jan joined with Professor Dave, to make fun of flat earthers. But just as I was saying, we are dealing with professional actors, central casting, and it's hard for us to be fighting everybody, like all these animals. We will always say something, but uh, let the people who are doing evil continue doing evil. That's what the Bible says in Revelation towards the end, chapter I think 22. Those who do evil, let them continue doing evil, and let those who do justice, who do the right thing, continue doing the right thing. And we cannot stop those guys. Their hearts are rotten, and they follow Satan, and and they team up together to do evil. Psalm, I think, number 2, that says the wicked people, the kings, they conspire against the Lord. And all those wicked people are always conspiring against the Lord. Hello, Corey. Corey is in the house. Some good people joining in right now. Welcome to the show. And so they are constantly doing evil. They're constantly thinking about how to do evil, and whether by attacking flat Earth, biblical cosmology, what you name it. But it's hard because while we are busy trying to help people, trying to build things up, they have all the free time to tear things down, to destroy. We do things accordingly to what the time that we have. We don't have the whole time, all the time, to do the good things, to build, to spread flat earth truth, biblical cosmology, salvation, Jesus Christ, because we are busy with our day-to-day activities. But these people, they have a lot of free time to destroy, to lie, to create. They have the funding, they have the money, they print money, And you know, sometimes it's kind of overwhelming, you know. It's really overwhelming sometimes. Uh, so since I start talking about lyricism, which I don't do a lot, I plan to do more. I actually gained more subscribers. I got 40 subscribers in the last 20 days, 28 days. So I asked you people, some of you who got a bit mad at me for talking about lyricism. It's just like I don't no longer believe in the lies of any Jesuits. And Jesuits, they put out a lot of lies. For example, the heliocentric model. And the other lie they put out is the futurism, you know, and all that futurism stuff. This is all another Satan lies. Guys, if you want to support the channel, you can visit my online store, you know, get a map, give a map to somebody, you know, as a present, a t-shirt. I appreciate, or you can become, I only have uh, 11 patrons. So if you want to become a patron, there's no special videos, secret videos or anything, because I try to reach as many people as possible. And it's not fair that some people who pay get, you know, whatever I have to share, I want to share with everybody, you know, not just with a few. As many, as the more, the better. So this is an article sent to me by my friend Yuko Sakamoto-san. Shout out to you, Sakamoto-san. It's from North Carolina newspaper, 1846. Okay, and this talks about the insane asylum. So I have it. Do I? I thought I had. Well, this article here talks about the insane asylums and how people were being put into those insane asylums, and because they were talking about a golden age they lived, which means the end of the 1,000 years reign. So what they did, you know, pretty much the people who, you know, let's look at like this, okay? Look at the political system of today. For example, when the U.S. pulled out of Iraq, they announced first, and they slowly took everything. They put it down, stuff, and they left some things for them, but the more important things they took of them. It didn't happen like that in Afghanistan. Biden just say, okay, leave everything behind. So what happened was it was a transfer of power. When when the 1,000 years reign ended, you know, and Satan got his short time, he immediately tried to erase everything from the former administration. So put it like this, it's not difficult to see how they tried to destroy everything. And so many things, you know, there's a video here that I want to play about the things that happened, the seals in Revelation. And I think which one is this?
The date of the apocalypse that's mentioned in the book of Revelation is August 24th, 79 AD. Pretty simple. John was writing the book of Revelation. He was in a cave on the island of Patmos that became known as the Cave of the Apocalypse. He was writing about the current events of the day. And over in Italy, right outside of Rome, in the city of Pompeii, the Mount Vesuvius exploded. And when it did, it covered the entire city of Pompeii, all of the coast, and about half of the mountain fell into the sea. It happened in 79 AD, and these people right here were literally trapped, gasping for air in the city of Pompeii when they died instantly, knowing they'd made a mistake. You know, these things right here are not statues of the people of Pompeii. They're the cavities that their bodies made while they were gasping for air. While they were under the volcanic ash, frozen in time. You can see the expression on their faces right here. When they found the city of Pompeii, they found these cavities and they filled them full of concrete. And this is what came out of those concrete forms. The people that were gasping for air during the volcanic explosion. They died instantly. All over the city of Pompeii, you can find women, children, and men laying in place with the expressions on their face, gasping for air. The who's who of the Roman Empire all came to Pompeii. It was the New Babylon. Let me show you where they're talking about that in the Bible and how the ships were off the coast watching the city be destroyed. Right up here, August 24th, 79 AD. Mountain exploding. Revelation chapter 6, verse 12. And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. Revelation 18, verse 10, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, the great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. So that's black as sackcloth. It peeled the sky open whenever it came into it, and it rained hail fire on those people in the city of Pompeii. That whole half of the mountain right there slid into the ocean. Go to Google Earth, go to the city of Pompeii, click on some of the photospheres, and you can see things like this all through the city of Pompeii and Herculaneum. It's the cities that were covered. These are their gods right here. This thing right here is about 30 foot tall. And they were cut off from God just like that. And if you could hear this guy talk, he would tell you that the Bible is full of real stories that ended up becoming prophecy. And 800 years before Christ ever died on the cross, King David wrote that the dogs encircle me, they pierce my hands, they pierce my feet, and cast lots for my cloak. The dogs encircle me, they pierce my hands, they pierce my feet, and cast lots for my cloak.
Isn't that great? So lots of things in book of Revelation. You know, we are in Revelation chapter 20, verse 8. And futurism, dispensationalism, you know, you need to start thinking that this stuff, it's being put out by people who are now supporting, you know, the a future temple. But it's not going to happen, you know. It's not going to happen. Hello, DJ Nimon. Welcome to the show. They added 700 years easily. Yes, I think so, 700 years. So we will be talking about the timeline, which I believe, you know, I'm working on a timeline, and I'll probably be showing this in a couple of weeks. Perhaps next week. So this is from a YouTube channel, really nice. You can see how Rome was buried, you know, and this is Rome. It was buried. Even today, you know, look, this stuff was buried, you know, and the whole city was buried. Like, how, you know, how was this city buried like that? They only start digging Rome out in 1920s. I see these buildings; those were apartment buildings that date back the first century. Look at these ones, how buried. So these arts are supposed to be like those ones, like this. Look, it's all buried. Look at these ones. Okay. And all those destructions, I was looking yesterday at a couple of videos, some temples that are bigger than the Parthenon, like 3 times bigger. Everything was destroyed, like, you know, between after the temple was destroyed, 70 AD. Now, not everything in the Revelation happened in one day. It happened in perhaps 10, 15 years, you know? All right, guys, let me see here what's going on. So I now do believe that we are in Satan's little season. After, you know, looking at stuff, and I'm still studying, still looking, talking. I will eventually get up to date with all the emails. I know some of you guys have sent me Bible studies and videos, and I've been watching them. It's just like I don't see Danielle 9, as I said last week, the past 2 weeks, has been completely fulfilled. There will be no third temple. Trust what the Lord said. There is no stone above stone that will be left. I want to share one more thing here. In my Portuguese Bible, we always had, that was the first Bible I read before I read in English. We had this passage in Matthew 24:3 as the end of times. That's how it says in Portuguese. And I compare some other translations in English. While he was sitting in the Mount Olives, the disciples approached him privately and said, "Tell us, when will these things happen, and what's the sign we're coming?" At the end of the age. So this is the correct translation from the Greek, because we had this also in Portuguese. It's the end of the age, not the end of the world. That's the problem with the KJV. This verse, I don't agree, because it's not the end of the world, like the whole world will be destroyed. It's the age, that age, the law of Moses and all those worshiping those Greek gods and Roman gods. Yeah, they still do it today because the Roman Catholic Church has brought it back. But it was the end of the age, and the coming of the Lord. So that's the next anti-coming. And that Jesus explains everything that's going to happen. But you see here, end of the age, end of the age, end of the age. It's not really the end of the world. It's the end of the age, of that era or that period, And so a lot of things I told you guys when I first started reading the Bible, I thought was one thing, and then when I start going to church, they explain it differently. He's in heaven. I'm just answering here a question by what? As I said, Jesus is in heaven. He's reigning from heaven, from the New Jerusalem, which is in heaven, and it's going to come down in when in Revelation 20, after the war, the Gog and Magog war. Okay. Matthew, Australia, shout out to you. The Jerusalem today is not the actual location of Jesus. The North Pole area is where the Jerusalem and Camp of the Saints are. That's what I believe. Also, there are, if you look at old maps, like Africa, for example, they have all the biblical lands there, the names, and the people were explaining that makes sense because if you look at today, Egypt to Israel, it's like a 1 day drive. You can get there in 1 day. If you walk, it takes you 7 days. And how come they spent 40 years to get from Egypt to Israel? But if you look like Africa, for example, it makes more sense. It makes a lot of sense. And going back to what I was saying a couple of weeks ago, all those passages that we were reading, the mountain falling to the sea, the Pompeii stuff, Rome being destroyed in 1 hour. When Paul says the gospel had been preached all over, I really believe it was because I think this Pangea stuff happened, as I told you guys during the last week. According to the history, the fake history, Rupes Negra appeared in 530 C with a big earthquake, right? So I believe this stuff happened in the first century. And when Paul was preaching that the gospel had been preached all over the earth, I believe that time was when the world was united. That's why there's only three continents described: Europe, Africa, and Asia, because there were only three, right? And perhaps at that time, Jerusalem was the center. No more, no more. And that explains a lot. Like in North America, they have this place in, they say the Grand Canyon is full of Egyptian stuff. Yeah, because they could just go from here to there, you know? And because the king of Egypt probably dates way longer than, older than any of the others. You know, in Australia, they find also pyramids and hieroglyphs, whatever. And that explains a lot, you know, like in Brazil, they have, I don't know, I have to verify the authenticity, but they have Roman columns buried in Brazil as well. So it explains a lot, you know, if the world was united. It was like Pangaea at the time when Paul was preaching, Paul and Peter and all the apostles, how they reached India and everything. And then in 70, in the 70s AD, between 70 and 80, all the things took place, and the Mount Rupes Nigra appear right here in the middle, right? That's how where I'm working at. I'm working on this. Okay, still got to do a lot of more research, but that's what I think happened. All right, guys, let me see how long we've been on for. 1 hour, 13 minutes, and 54 seconds. We're approaching the end of the show. Yeah, I never underestimate the masters of deception. Charlie Kirk, the NASA astronauts, you know, just remember Little Caesar, not Little Caesar, sorry. Just remember central casting. Just remember this event was seen all over. You know, I was in Brazil, I was a teenager. Well, oh, my friends, oh, did you see what happened? You know, the Challenger exploded. You know, I saw on TV, I was traumatized, you know. Remember, this is all central casting, and then central casting right here, you know, September 10, truth in movies, lies in the news, like Russian Vids says. Shout out to Russian Vids, you know, special effects, Hollywood, a lot of coincidences, you know, same day, released in September 10. So a lot of things, shenanigans here going on, you know. All right. So I think that's going to be all for today. Hope you guys will have a good week. Listen, share, subscribe. I'm always putting out compilations, flat earth compilations. And his name is Jesus Christ. Jesus, that's his new name, Jesus Christ. He says that in Revelation. So, guys, we'll be back next week, and I'll be looking more at this Little Season stuff and be share what I found. And that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much. God bless each and every one of you. May you have a great week. See you next week, okay? I don't have super chat. I'm sorry. YouTube will not allow me to have super chat, so there's no way. So you can, if you feel like it, there's a PayPal link there in my videos. I appreciate it, Matthew. God bless you, brother. So thanks, everyone. I'll see you next week again. The earth is flat. Jesus Christ reigns in the New Jerusalem, and it's going to come down after the Gog and Magog battle. Watch out for this fake alien invasion. There is one fake city coming. They're planning December now. It was supposed to be here September. Now they changed it to December. So watch out. God bless you, Angelo, all of you, Rick, Eric, Mary, Crystal. See you next week, okay? Bye-bye.
Wonderful, magical, celestial light, fantastical, mystical, wonderful sight. Belgian Swiss physicist Auguste Piccard, 1931, first to reach for the stars, was the first to explore the air view stratosphereus, a scientist curious to see what was there. An aluminium black ball on a helium balloon with photos and instruments sailed towards the moon, rose in just half an hour, 52,000 feet, 10 miles of depth air pressure, up a dead drop in heat and cold, but disproving gravity. Wonderful, mystical, beautiful sight, flat line separation of black from blue light, a world run by deceivers, false make-believers, hiding in shadows, stealing our light. Mystical, fluorescent light, wonderful, magical, awesome, yes, stealing our light. Wonderful, let there be light, supernatural, eternal, supernatural. Up we go, higher than rainbows, higher than mountains, above cumulonimbus, higher than air, high-level horizon, 360 around us, back right round behind us, any height that you dare. The sun and the moon both revolve above around us, to forever show time pass intelligently there. You'll never beat us, you'll never defeat us, no more you deceive us, we keep you like air. Kipper and Picard were the first ever known to reach up there. Divine luminescent light, mystical, wonderful, celestial light. So what was their eternal testimony? What did they report back to humanity? Said it seemed like a flat disk far as eyes can see, with an upturned edge fading into infinity. A mystical, ethereal, celestial sight, a divine creation, a clockwork of light, designed hid by deceivers and false make-believers, still cowering in shadows, still fearing our light. Here we go, higher than Everest, higher than airplanes, above zero cumulus, higher than air, a level horizon, 360 around us, no motion beneath us, no spinning hotels on the firmament, time all around us, to forever show time past geometrically there. You'll never beat us, you'll never defeat us, forever beneath us, we see through you like air. Mystic, solar luminous light, fantastical, magical, bright, we see through you like air. Magical, angels of light, beautiful, wonderful, celestial light. The first to see truth when they reach for the stars, explorers and physicists, Kipper and Picard. Never you'll defeat us, forever beneath us, we see through you like air.